Surprise, motherfucker, I've been recording this entire time. Hello, welcome to Supernatural Selection. I'm your host, Kevin Heyman. With me this week are Mike the Skeptic. Mike, how you feeling this week, buddy?
Fine.
Okay.
I'm fine. Everything's fine here. How are you?
I pray for the sweet release of death. No, I'm kidding. I'm actually doing pretty good today. And we've got Mr. David Davis. David, how are you doing today?
Coping with that not very good new Beatles song.
Man,
I thought it was,
it was certainly one of the John Lennon tracks I'd skip.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Like, I don't believe in the criticism of anything being mid because I think it's lazy criticism.
Yeah.
But that song was kind of mid.
Well, there's a reason it wasn't a popular John Lennon song to begin with.
Yeah.
This is the wrong podcast for this.
Welcome to the distraction hole.
Yes. So, guys, this week...
It'd be like one of those stores that has a store inside of the store.
Well, like a...
You have a mini podcast inside the podcast.
So like a Taco Bell KFC combo?
No, more like when there was like the Subway inside the Walmart.
Oh.
Or the Starbucks inside the bookstore.
Starbucks. The Starbucks inside the Starbucks. So this week we've got a special guest. David, you seem to be our interviewer, so I'm going to let you take over here for a bit.
Okay, so with us this week we have Edward Davis. Edward, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing tonight?
We're doing pretty well.
Wait.
We're excited to do this because we've had a few guests on, but it's always great to have another guest. And you also happen to be a comic person, which is great for 2/3 of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mike, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was just trying to interject. If you have the same last name, you have to say no relation. Otherwise,
like a Buster and Babs.
you start
thing.
to think it's nepotism.
Nepotism.
Yeah. No, we don't all sprout from the same body. We're not buds off a single Davis clone.
Oh,
yeah.
damn.
And I don't know. I haven't run any family history. We may find out we're distant cousins. And
it's entirely possible.
Well,
just randomly.
Well, just don't have children together.
I
mean, we can try.
There goes.
Yeah.
There goes my plot of trying to get at famous Davis. Insert famous Davis here through you.
Miles Davis.
Yeah, there we go. We'll channel his ghost. All right. All right. So, do you mind if we call you Ed?
Yes, definitely. Please do that.
Okay.
Do you mind if I call you?
Yeah, I realized as soon as I said it, I'm like, okay, that's completely backwards to what I intended. So yeah, please call me Ed. Definitely don't call me that. How dare you? That's informal, and I don't do that.
All right. Well, Ed, we're here to talk about your new comic that you're launching on. You're going to launch a Kickstarter for it. But you've also launched. You also have your own publishing company, don't you?
Yes, I do. Finish Line Comics.
And what sort of stories do you do with Finish Line Comics?
I mean, for the first few years, it's been focused on just one story, and that's Immortal Era, and that's kind of a post-apocalyptic story with fantasy intermingled and horror mixed within it. And the newer story, it's I don't know, categorizing it's kind of hard because it's got lots of crazy mythology and everything going on. But I think my wheelhouse is always going to be kind of that fantasy horror realm, kind of finding a way to merge those two things.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's definitely appropriate for the kind of material we cover on the show. So I guess let's just kind of get into it. What's your elevator pitch for Corruptor?
All right. So Corruptor tells the story of a mafia hitman named Tony Scamparza. He's killed in the line of duty, and immediately upon his death, he's recruited by demons from hell. And these demons are trying to bring him in so that he can corrupt as many souls as possible before all of the world basically ends. Because both sides of the afterlife, heaven and hell, they know that the end of the world is coming, and there's not going to be any more souls coming their way because the Immortal Era is going to begin. And at that point, portals to the afterlife are closed. So both sides are in it trying to get as many souls as they can for no other reason than bragging rights. So I kind of turn heaven and hell into like feuding mafia families.
Yeah, I noticed that there was a very like crime because you did send us the first issue to read,
Yeah.
and I really
Mhm.
enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Like a nice combination of like crime story with mythological, heaven and hell stuff. But
I do
I
like
guess.
I do like
Oh
that
yeah.
you've made the entire afterlife basically a bunch of dick bags. That works for me.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Yeah, everybody in the comic is kind of terrible to everybody
Yep.
else. It's not a feel good world.
Yeah, I don't really have a likable character in this story. I mean, it's like even your main character, you're like, that guy's an asshole. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
he kills anyone and doesn't have any remorse about it. Dayton's looking at him like, wow, you're awesome. You'll even kill a family pet. No one I brought down is that horrible. So it's kind of, you have horrible and just there's no one that you like. And then when we meet our first angel, it's not like, oh, good, here comes the good guy. Like, no, they're just as big of assholes as the demons were.
Yeah, and a protagonist doesn't have to be likable. Like that's half of like Lovecraft's protagonist, right?
Mhm.
You just need someone who kind of we follow and we get invested in, and even if they're kind of an asshole, we're still into it.
Yeah.
So something that you mentioned when you were giving me that elevator pitch there, which good job by the way, was that the Immortals era is approaching. So this is a prequel.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So can you explain a little bit of like the overarching idea of what the Immortals era is?
So the Immortal Era, it's a story that it takes place 200 years in the future, but essentially it starts in the year 2000, and essentially when the new millennium comes in, everybody wakes up and has become immortal.
Mhm.
But they're not, like, oh great, we're going to live forever, we're going to be ageless vampires, this is beautiful. No, they're still aging, they're still suffering from diseases, they're just going to live forever with these. So this heaven and hell both know that the immortal era is coming. They can't stop it, but they both know it's coming. So the immortal era, when it comes in the year 2000, that's essentially when the Corruptor series would end, because at that point there's no more souls to corrupt, because through different mythology in the book I've revealed that in the immortal era, all the souls are trapped on Earth. There's millions of souls left on Earth, the people that died just to the moment the immortality began, but they couldn't get to the afterlife. So there's millions of souls trapped on Earth, but heaven and hell can't have any claim to them. So they're all in a race to get all these souls before the immortal era kicks in.
Right.
Okay.
And
Yeah, like I do like that ticking clock aspect to it.
and speaking of race, I do love the banner image you've got on the Finish Line comics with the skeleton trying to finish the race.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
very,
that's
very
nice.
clever.
Yeah, that was inspired by an actual race. I was doing a relay race, and I was supposed to do around 30 miles total, which is still a lot of damn miles. But one of our runners got sick, so I ended up doing 48 miles, and I'm like, that about sums up my feeling at the finish line. And
Jeez.
people, I mean, I'm barely walking. 48 miles, your legs are just trash. And they're like, you can do it. And I just want to say, fuck you guys. You don't know how many miles I've run. Leave me alone. Run your own damn race. Don't give me your pity. So
I,
that was my feeling as I crossed the finish line. I'm like, I'm just gonna die before I make it, and I'll never actually get there. So it kind of inspired that whole logo. And I even had my artist. I took a picture of the running shirt I wore that day. I'm like, all right, this is the shirt the skeleton has to be wearing, because that was the most miserable day of racing in my life.
nice. Yeah, I don't know
That's
about you.
fantastic.
I get winded after like 20 feet. So
Like I get winded after the podcast. What are you talking about?
yeah, no, it's true. We're in terrible shape and we're old and dying. So I look forward to the immortal era where I'm just a dying skeleton.
Yes.
So no, that's cool that you're able to kind of go back and do this prequel, and then you also said that like once this series ends, it's going to be moving into you're moving to a different timeline after.
Yeah,
Like,
what'll happen is there's the two timelines. The first timeline is the prequel timeline, where we're seeing everything before Immortal Era begins, and the second half of the book will be written when Immortal Era is finished, and
Mhm.
all of the consequences to the things that happen before the Immortal Era begins, because the character is going to be going through a wild couple of months. And when it ends, he's going to be stuck in one place, and we have to wait until Immortal Era finishes to bring his conclusion into the story. So it's kind of written in two parts, but trying to make both of them stand alone, where if you've never read an issue of Immortal Era, you can read it and understand it. There's little Easter eggs you might miss that are going on throughout it, but otherwise it's, it stands on its own.
Like, right. I do like that approach quite a bit. So what is your background in comics? Because you work as the writer here. You've come up with the concept and everything like that.
Yeah.
What's your history with comics?
My history, I started as probably around 2018. I had the Immortal Era story kind of bubbling in my head for years. And I had written probably about 300 pages of what was going to be a novel trilogy. And it just, we were talking earlier, life just happens, and it kept getting shoved aside but never would go away. And just happened that the librarian at the school that I work at, he was a Kubert School graduate, and we were just kind of talking story ideas, and I talked about this one, and he's like, holy shit, we got to turn this into a comic book. Ooh. And at that point I knew nothing about how to write a comic book. And I always thought, if you're not an artist, you can't write a comic book. So since I can't draw, why would I write comics? I didn't realize that most of the people who write comics can also not draw. But, in my brain, I thought they both must be connected. But yeah, I just kind of started taking all of my notes and all of the pages that I had written and adapting them into comic script. And I just grabbed one of the big saga books that had the script excerpt in the back, and I looked at the style. I just started digging on my bookshelf for all the graphic novels that I had, because they all had those little script excerpts in the back, and I never paid any attention to them. Because all right, well, that's cool, that's how he writes, whatever. But then it started to become my focus. Like, let me look at all these different styles and who has the style that kind of fits with the way I write. And yeah, it just happened to be the one in the back of Saga. I liked the layout, I liked the structure, and that's the style that I've adopted for all my scripts.
Right.
Well, I mean, hell yeah, man. You started in 2018, and now it's 2023. You're 8 issues into one series. You're launching a spinoff. Like, you're doing great.
Yeah, man.
Great, dude. Thanks. So you mentioned kind of looking at Saga for inspiration as far as how the scripts are formatted, but as a writer, do you have any particular inspirations?
The two biggest that I can think of as far as comic writers go would always be Garth Ennis and Neil Gaiman.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely see both.
I kind of got mixed up. I thought you meant Garth Marenghi for a minute, and I got real excited that we were going to talk about Dark Place. I'm sorry, that's my bad.
I know authors who use subtlety, and they're all cowards. Oh, but no, I could definitely see the Garth Ennis and Neil Gaiman in this, which is you've done a good job in kind of evoking their style, I think.
Yeah, I remember the first time I got into Neil Gaiman was when I was in high school, and I had the foresight to buy a giant stack of those Death of Superman books. And I'm selling it to the jocks because they think they're going to retire on it. And I don't want to tell them, yeah, there's a million of those things printed, so you're not going to get shit for it in a couple years. But for now, hey, I'll sell you one for $50. One guy said, I don't have money, but I'll trade you this Sandman #1 for it. And I'm like, why the heck not? And in the end, I won that one for sure. But it just got me very hooked on it. And Sandman was already about 30 issues in when I made the trade. And I just went in and started hunting in the back issue bins. And that's when I was snatching up all the back issues for $1 a piece, because at that point, nobody really cared. But I was just so hooked on his form of storytelling. And also the fact that it wasn't just going to be all right, villain of the week, we're going to keep going. No, he had a finite story to tell. And when it was over, it was over. Granted, there's little prequels and things like that, but it was one core story, and that kind of redefined how I looked at a comic book in my head.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then also, since we're talking about Neil Gaiman, we're talking about Sandman, which has a lot of paranormal elements to it. Any particular elements of the paranormal that you find interesting? Because that's kind of what we talk about here on the show in general. Yeah,
I love. If you read both my series, you'll see there's like demonology and things like that. So I've had to do a lot of research of different
Yeah.
types of demons, so that if someone asks, okay, this particular demon in your story, what kind of demon is that? So I've had to research these different things, and then just kind of the story also has a lot of different witchcraft elements. If you read Immortal Era,
Right.
it's not really there in Corruptor, but in Immortal Era, we have a lot of different witchcraft. So I studied things like that. But when I'm looking at supernatural, I love reading kind of the mythology that is connected to different cultures. And that's something I love doing, just researching, okay, how do they look at death? What's their death figurehead? And what are the stories that they use to chill the bones of their children? So I love researching, stories around the world that are just the horrific stories that keep getting passed down.
Yeah. So you mentioned, like, you do your research, which is great. Do you know? Can you name any like authors or any specific books that you read that kind of helped you to inform your own story in that regard?
Oh my gosh, I just have like so many kind of
Yeah.
encyclopedias of witchcraft and encyclopedias of vampires, and just like all of these different things. I like to dive so deep into them. So it's so many different books, and I went to the library, and I talked to the librarian and said, okay, I'm looking to research this. What can you get for me? And just kind of it's a little bit of that, and they know I'm writing a book, so that I'm not
Right.
gonna come and become Ed Gein like your
Yeah.
wife thought I was. So none of that.
Quick question: where is it you're located? Generally, not specifically. Because
I'm in Inland Empire area, like Highland Redlands area.
Yeah, we're pretty
right.
close.
Okay.
We could probably meet up at least, because we met up. Like, I know that we met before we last saw each other, but we kind of
we've
put
run
this
into each
together.
other at different cons.
Yeah, but
before.
we kind of put this whole thing here together when we were at our last convention.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I was just
we
curious
were right next to each other.
because I've had to get my books myself, like through purchase, because if I went to my library and asked for any of this stuff, I'd be tied to a stake and set on fire.
we're a little better with that here in California.
No, they just
It's
look at you
weird questions to ask, but they kind of know. I'm like, all right, most of the ones that work at the library have read my book, because when it comes out, they're reading it, so they kind of know what I'm doing, and I don't know what they're thinking when I leave. They're like, okay, I'm happy that freak is gone. He scares the shit out of me, but they're polite to my face, so I guess it's all that really matters.
Sure.
So, like, we've been talking a little bit about like doing the research. Do you ever notice like synchronicities when you're doing research, like you're studying something and then you notice something going on that's like kind of related to what you're studying? Has that happened to you at all? Because that's happened to us a couple of times.
I haven't really hit that yet when I'm doing it, because I think the stuff I'm researching is so ancient. I haven't run into those kind of current parallels with it, but you see it in movies. You'll see it like, oh wow, that's what I was just researching, and now there's a new movie coming out, so someone else must have been hitting the same books at the library.
Yeah, I also think it kind of gets into like when you start getting into the weirder, more abstract stuff, like with demonology and stuff. Like, this is all very written record, very like, you have these books that have existed for thousands of years. But when you start getting into like wild magic and stuff like that, where things are a little more nebulous, you start having some weird experiences. And I know that I have, Kevin, I think you have as well. And then so I guess that leads to the question of like, have you had any sort of paranormal experiences in your life at all?
I really haven't. It's kind of strange where when I was younger, I was always kind of trying to find the ghost, because I became
That's why you
obsessed
never see it.
when I saw Ghostbusters. I just thought, I have to find a ghost. I need to see it. But I know that's something my wife has had all kinds of wild experiences with that. So I guess I get to live kind of vicariously through her, because the house, she hates long hallways. So it's one of these things where when we were house hunting, long hallways were immediately out, because she lived in a house with the long hallway, saw the ghost standing at the end of it repeatedly, not just a one-time thing. And it's like, we would walk into the house, our agent taking all the time to get these listings. We walk in, she'd take a second look and like, hell no, let's go. I don't even want to be in this house for a second. So she always kind of gets the vibes of a house, and she's like, this house has had some shit. Let's go.
I mean, that also makes sense with hallways. If you like kind of look at the idea of like what causes a place to be haunted,
Yeah.
they're spaces of transition.
Well,
Mhm.
and
So a hallway being an expression of that like ultimate like transition from one end to the other and that sort of thing.
I've
Yeah.
also like ghost stories. There are so many reports on like reports. There are so many stories of people seeing shadow people at the end of the hallway, or I saw something
Yeah.
go into my kid's bedroom, and now he says weird shit at night. You know, it's always like that
Yeah.
at the end of a hallway. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's even like a primal response because like enclosed spaces aren't generally a natural environment for primates. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you
Yeah.
say long hallways are sort of liminal?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I mean,
Yeah.
like caves are super uncomfortable, like to
Mhm.
us. Like even if you're like a caver or something, they're still kind of intensely uncomfortable about that. And again, it's that constraint, right?
Yeah.
Right.
When we were primates living up in the trees or under the trees, or whatever. It just so yeah, like there's a primal element to that. I don't know how much that factors into it, but yeah,
I,
hallways still give me the creeps. That's for sure.
I
Yeah.
don't know about the primate thing though, because
Mm,
our ancestors came from pretty dense jungle areas where
Yeah. Overhead
there's
canopies.
yeah, and there's a famous report of that. It affects how you spatially
mhm,
perceive things. Because it was like a thing I read once about a tribesman that was escorting some scientist or something like that, or anthropologist, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and they brought him to out of the jungle where his tribe was from and into a clearing, and he said, "What's that little thing over there?" And it was like a cow, like far enough away that
mhm.
it looked like a bug to him, and he could not conceptualize that was something
Distance.
really far away,
Mhm.
because it's farther away than
Mhm.
he's ever experienced in his whole life, except maybe looking
Right.
at the
Yeah.
blue sky. And you can look at the sky, and clouds can look, close or far away. Most of the time they're really high up, but they can
Oh
seem
Yeah.
yeah. I
so
mean,
close.
absolutely. Yeah.
And so, he that that shows, how our when things, it's not a inbuilt the enclosed space. I don't think is a
It's
inbuilt
learned.
Yeah.
thing.
It's learned, but like you had the primates who were in the open spaces, right? Just as you had cultures who were kind of in the jungle
Yeah,
and that sort of thing. So like of course it's going to vary and everything like that, but no, I see what you're saying with that. No, that
yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Mm.
Um, okay, so let's get into the money talk here. So, how much
The
are you trying to
money.
raise in this Kickstarter campaign for the new book?
I'm really kind of setting a modest goal for it because it's brand new, and I don't know if my readers will kind of move over, because usually for all the Immortal Era books I always do a goal of about 3,000 or 3,500.
Mhm.
So for this one I'm going to set the goal at 1,000, because where we stand right now, the book's it's already printed. I mean, I got all the copies in with Immortal Era 8. So I just need to, try to raise enough money to start paying for art, because the artist is already working on issue 2, and hopefully can get him working on issue 3. So
Mhm.
I'm setting the goal at 1,000, but my hope is always that kind of the magic number is always like 3,500, and that helps to keep to fund the next book and get the art fees paid for the upcoming issues.
And you've done this for like each book, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I've
I mean,
done it
no,
for
that's
for
impressive.
issues 1 through 8 of Immortal Era, and I skipped one because the issue 1 was me just kind of like
Mm.
shaking down every family member and friend, like, please back this shit. I need money. So it felt like, okay, I don't want to pester the family again. But then by issue 2 and 3, it's been, the family members have dwindled off, and it's just
Right.
the people that hit the continued readers. So that's kind of what you want, is you want a book that's not going to sink you, because that's the hardest thing with a comic. People don't realize how expensive it is until they actually start to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking at doing a crowdfunding campaign for my comic, and I'm just like, oh, this just seems like a nightmare. But like hearing how many times you've done it, like it fills me with confidence, because like, no, I mean it's possible, and it doesn't have to be like an obscenely large number.
Yeah.
Like, so do you have like any tips for someone who's maybe wanting to move into crowdfunding a print run of their own comic, for example, like me?
I mean, the first thing, like you were saying, is you want to have more of a modest goal. Don't go out and say like, all right, I'm going to make $5,000 when you're new at it.
Mhm.
And set yourself a modest goal. Get readers before you start, because that was the mistake I made with issue 1. I didn't really have readers, so besides family and friends, no one else really knew about the book. So getting out to cons and things like that, which I know you do because that's where I've run into you, like that starts to build readers. They're people that like your art, they like your work, and they're going to come back for more of your stuff. So get that mailing list built, because even though I wasn't as prepared as I would have liked to have been, I still had a mailing list with about 100 people when I first launched the book. So you get that, and then just get yourself out there, whether it be, it doesn't have to be in person, but just make your presence known so people know you have a book, and network with those other creators, because they're trying to do theirs. So you kind of cross promote, share your book to theirs, they share your book to theirs, and it really helps, and that just kind of boosts your readers. So yeah, just keep yourself out there. And with you having a podcast, you have people who will listen and follow along and grab the book. So that's the best advice I can say, is just look for other people and keep building that your core fan base, because they're the ones that are going to come back issue after issue after issue.
Oh no, absolutely. So when is the campaign launching? Exactly.
Corruptor will be launching on the 16th, and I'm actually going to do a podcast. There's a comic shop down in the Victorville area, and he has a podcast, so I always launch live on his show. So it's the Comic Cult, and he has Comic Cult TV. So I launch live on the show, and that I've done it for the last few books, and it's good because it kind of gets that immediate buzz going, and I can talk. They have a local artist who does really good work, and for a few of the times he's done like live drawings of the characters, and the first backer gets the original art. So little things like that, perks to bring people in. So I'll be launching. I think the show starts. It's like a 6 to 7 show. So I'll be launching after we talk about the book. I launch kind of right there in the middle of the show, and then I'm going to do just a regular 30-day campaign, even though it's going to run through Thanksgiving and early December. It's not the ideal time from what I've heard, but I also have 1,000 copies of this book sitting in my house, and I need to get some of them out of here.
Right.
Oh no, I mean,
you need your bed back.
All right. So yeah, no, I'm interested in seeing how this campaign goes for you. So that's launching sometime next week on the
Yes.
the 16th, you said?
16th, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and of course we're gonna have a link to it on our show notes and everything like that. But Kevin, Mike, you have any questions for Ed about the project, or just in general?
Well, let me see. I do have one question. This is just personal as a comic creator. What's it like to actually be able to work with other humans?
I mean, it's nice. I'm someone when we were in the lockdown, I felt like I was gonna lose my sanity because I need to be around people. So it's good to work with a team, and it's also amazing to just be able to get out there and sell the book to people,
right?
And just kind of meet other people that are passionate about the same thing you are. So you kind of talk to people who love what you love. So it's
right.
It's amazing, and that's something I need. It's kind of my lifeblood to keep getting out there and constantly be with people and around people.
Because I know David works with other people on his comics sometimes. He gets co-writers. I do inking for him sometimes. I'm pretty much a one-man show, so this is a very unique... It's something I'm curious about what it would be like to do. I know Mike actually was my colorist for a while on Coda's World.
It's been only you ever since you fired me from Coda's World.
I didn't fire
you. Fired me for horrendous
you.
crimes against lens flare.
Okay, yes, there was that, but you were like, look, just you do it. But yeah, and it's fine.
I wanted to make joke.
And
yes, thank you for joke.
Yeah, and you do have to. I mean, it's hard sometimes because everybody wants to put their own piece into this. Yet I'm the one that's paying for the publishing and the the primary runner. So when they want to do their own thing, and you have to tell them like, no, that's not what we're going for here. Right. That's when it's kind of like, damn, if I could just fucking draw myself, I'd be great.
No, I've been there. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
No, I get it.
That's why we're control freaks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all comic creators to a large degree are control freaks. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all egomaniacs. So yeah.
Yeah. Mike, do you have a question at all, or?
No, I think you covered everything I can think of.
Yeah. No, I definitely have enjoyed this interview quite a bit, but I think we should start moving on to news stories. What do you gentlemen think?
I think we should take a quick break and then move on to news stories. How does that sound?
Fine, I guess, because it's your fucking podcast.
It's my fucking podcast, goddammit. And that being said,
it's his fucking bladder.
It is. We'll be right fucking back right after right fucking this. Hi everyone, this is Kevin from Supernatural Selection. Are you an independent creator? Do you have a webcomic or an Etsy store? Do you 3D print things? Or are you just looking to get some word out for your Discordian cabal? Well, we'd love to help. And David, I believe you've got some details about how we can help.
Why, certainly. If you go to supernaturalselectionpod.com/contact, that is supernaturalselectionpod.com/contact, you can learn how to advertise with us.
That's right. I believe the rate is $2 per episode. You can't beat that with a stick.
I mean, trust me, we've tried.
Yeah, that's cheap. That's literally cheaper than dirt.
And best of all, if you're not sure how to write an ad, we'll do it for you. We'll even record it.
Absolutely. Just let us know what you need in the ad, and we'll be happy to do that for you.
And again, that URL is supernaturalselectionpod.com/contact.
And now, back to the show. I kind of feel like I've never mentioned this on the show, but maybe I should have. When we first moved in, nailed to the door frame in the garage is a packet of potpourri and a dryer sheet.
Oh.
And that is a anti-demon thing.
Okay.
Really?
And
interesting.
Wow.
Because when we found it, everybody's like, what the fuck is this? I was like, that is a demon thing. It is a thing to keep evil spirits out of your house.
I think it's just the garage stank. And they did exactly, Kevin, they did exactly what we do and put our garbage right inside the garage through the door.
I know, but when I looked it up.
That's where it was hanging from right there.
But.
So I guarantee you that it's just potpourri because they're old people, and the only way they know to make things smell nice.
There were people
potpourri.
living here that were younger before that, but I looked it up, and that is a thing that people do.
Well.
But anyway, welcome back to Supernatural Selection. Again, it's your weekend weird, and we got some stories that we dug up. And if you guys don't mind, I'd like to go first because this is a tragedy. This is a goddamn tragedy. I found this article. I had other articles, but I found this one in particular, and I got so fucking excited about it. And then I realized it was on harddrive.net.
Get satired, bitch.
Fuck off. This is only the second time this shit's happened. But I don't give a shit at this point. I'm really excited about this story because it's just fun. And the fact that we're living in a post-satire world, and the fact that a lot of us were like, holy shit, this is going to be awesome and stupid. And it's not even a new article I see. This is from August 4th, 2020. Fuck me sideways with a crowbar. God damn.
But let ye who hasn't been satire fished cast the first stone.
Yeah, bitch.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair.
Yeah, sorry.
It's funny. Like if I had a nickel for every time that happened, I'd have probably about 15 cents from the show alone. So
Yeah. Well, again,
and all three of them are from you.
Yeah, fuck off.
It happened to me late last year, maybe about a year ago.
Yeah.
Someone linked an article about the Disney's Galaxy Edge Starliner closing down, and I was like wrecked because I really wanted to do that. And of course, earlier this year they actually closed it.
Yeah.
So, but it softened the blow. Like I was, wrecked that first time.
Yeah,
and you're
I started
marginally less wrecked this time.
Exactly.
You can't be hurt again.
Oh God!
I already shed those tears.
Yep. So
manly tears of Miss Star Wars role playing.
Yep. So this article from harddrive.net. I don't care. This is a great story, and it gives me an excuse to use my Alex Jones voice. Alex Jones announces InfoWars tactics.
Yeah, see, when he's telling me about this, I thought this was in response to
Sandy
his,
Hook. Yeah, I thought this
lawsuits,
was
this was a way for him to get money because he realized, well, he's going to be either poor or give these people money and be less poor.
Yeah. So Dallas, Texas. This article is by Kevin Flynn. Fuck you, Kevin Flynn. Dallas, Texas, claiming that the new game would revolutionize the long-running InfoWars franchise. Far-right radio host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones unveiled a trailer and early details for a new tactics game set in the InfoWars universe in a surprise stream on the InfoWars website Tuesday morning. Everything about that is amazing. All right. InfoWars Tactics is a turn-based tactical RPG that takes place 10 years before the first episode of InfoWars, placing you in control of a DMT-enhanced super soldier on the front lines of the war for your mind, said Jones, standing on a soundstage in front of a large LCD screen displaying a pulsating graphic of the game's placeholder logo. You'll need to filter your own water, collect gorilla mind pills, and dodge gay bombs to rise to the top of the InfoWars army and reveal the secrets of the machine elves and the fifth dimension. Jones added that in addition to a robust story mode, InfoWars Tactics would include various optional quest lines and hundreds of collectible false flags and non-player crisis actors to interact with throughout the game's world. Just like in the real world, if you can even call our world real, you won't be able to see the game's true ending unless you uncover every single false flag that the government has placed to deceive you, Jones said. While the game's true ending contained new information about the origins of Pizzagate or Seth Rich, that's something you'll only be able to find out when InfoWars Tactics launches this holiday season. At the conclusion of the presentation, Jones announced that InfoWars Tactics would be released exclusively on the InfoWars website after he'd been deplatformed from Steam and the Epic Games Store.
I'm sorry I'm laughing so much. That's really fucking funny.
No, it's great. I was convinced this was real because it sounds like the kind of unhinged shit he would do. Right. I was gonna get this game.
Now I'm waiting for Koei Tecmo to do Info Warriors.
Oh God. And the thing is, in the Discord I found this in, somebody was like, I can't wait for the Knowledge Fight guys to do a playthrough of this.
Oh man.
And now I'm sad.
InfoWars Gaiden 3.
Oh
and
God.
Dante Must Die edition.
From Bethesda.
Oh my God. Can you imagine an Alex Jones video game though?
Yes, I did. I pictured it. It was great. It looked like Fallout 1.
Oh my God.
In every locker you just find nothing but alcohol.
It's
just erection pills and tactical flashlights.
And the currency is colloidal silver.
colloidal silver and gold coins.
Oh,
And
God.
then instead of health kits, you get those prepper meal buckets.
Yep, Baker
Yes.
buckets.
And you get his didn't he have a line of pills?
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah.
were
That's what the
like,
Gorilla Mind pills are.
Or
Oh
they were
God! And when he
health
goes into
pills or something.
berserker mode, his shirt comes off.
Oh, yeah, no. He's out there screaming about demons and the gay frogs. I adore this story, and
It's wonderful.
I'm just going to count this as my Phantoms and Monsters for the week. How's that?
Yeah, it's about as legitimate as Phantoms and Monsters.
Yeah. See, Ed, there's this website I go to torment David called phantomsandmonsters.com
Mhm.
that has it's all user submitted stories about encounters with UFOs, Men in Black, Bigfoot, Nessie, whatever. And they're always, and when I say unedited, I don't mean they have profanity. I mean they needed Grammarly really badly. And like David is sitting there just gouging his nails into his palms to keep from like screaming.
I sometimes find myself rocking back and forth in my chair because it's just like, oh God, no. Because I teach English for like my day job. So
Yeah.
Okay.
it drives me up the fucking wall, but it's good content, that's for sure.
Oh, it is. It's great. And it's always, I always read it with the spelling mistakes and, and I use the Phantoms and Monsters voice, which is, I tell you what, we were sitting over there and that thing came up out the woods at me and it was sucking itself off.
Oh God.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
You're
Oh my
welcome.
God, I kind of want an Alex Jones video game now.
I really hope this gets viral now so someone will come out with an InfoWars Tactics game because
I could make an Alex Jones game in Twine. I have that ability. I can make an Alex Jones text adventure if I wanted.
Should you?
That's the question, yeah.
Yep, that's the thing.
Oh,
Mike, how do you
I
feel
feel
about
like
it?
that story could become real, like the Disney World one. Like, okay, today it's a joke, tomorrow it's in development.
Tomorrow it is on Steam.
Oh no,
Mike, how does that make you feel?
I mean, glad yet sad that it's fake.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to live in the world with Alex Jones, game developer, but I'm sad we missed the comedy from it being real.
Oh, I'm
like
pissed.
the knowledge fight episode would have been incredible.
Yes.
I couldn't wait to hear Robert Evans talk about it on fucking Behind the Bastards.
Ooh, maybe Donkey would have played it.
Oh my God. Oh God.
Man.
Yeah,
See, we're
Alex
topical.
Jones.
Well, we're topical. We know podcasters and streamers and YouTube personalities.
And other names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know
can make
things about
references.
stuff and things.
They don't know our names, thank God.
Thank God. So, Mike, you want to go last? We can let David go.
Oh yeah.
Yes, please let me go. Please let me go.
No, you have to stay here, but you do need to read a story.
Oh yes, absolutely. Okay, so we've been doing a series of episodes on like the dead internet, and of course, I'm eventually going to have to talk about NFTs and how they're kind of related and adjacent to all that. But we got a fun NFT story here. So we all have heard of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, right?
Yeah, fuck that thing.
That's like the big, there's the stupid monkey looking ones and there's the stupid lion ones, right?
Yeah,
So
and what I love about the
a whole bunch of different stupid ones.
Well, what I love about the Bored Apes is it's become ubiquitous, like with NFTs, like when the prices crashed, my apes became a meme.
Apes, all my apes gone.
My apes are gone.
Almost universally, when your brand becomes the poster child for something, it's not. Well, not I guess universally, but it's never quite a good thing.
Especially when it's this.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the face to most things. Yeah, if there's a face to something, you generally don't want to be that. So, this is my article. It's from The Verge. This is by Jess Weatherbed, and the title is "Bored Ape NFT Event Attendees Report Severe Eye Burn."
They finally got a look at their NFTs and saw how ugly they were.
Nice.
Yeah, the tokens were non-fungible, but their eyes certainly were.
Oh, yeah.
Eyes are very fungible.
Too bad they
So,
weren't non-flammable tokens.
Right. Subheader right here, Yuga Labs says it's currently investigating reports of impeded vision and skin eye injuries believed to be caused by unprotected exposure to UV lights during Ape Fest 2023.
Look, with the way
So-
the prices crash, I'm surprised they could afford a DJ at all.
How many apes must you own?
There
To be
were
able
like
to afford it.
there were over 2,000 people at this thing.
Jesus
Okay,
That
Christ.
so
Wow.
I've actually listened to who was it? I think it was Adam Conover's podcast, and he had a someone that wrote a book about, getting into NFT, not getting in himself, but how he was a financial analyst and
The cult of NFTs.
for a long time he did not cover crypto just as a matter of pride or he thought there was nothing there, and then finally when he did, he went to this to my point of this is he went to this party they have every year, and to get in he had to own an ape, but because apes at the time were like $60,000, he's like, okay, I can't afford that. Is there a cheaper ape? And there was like a fork of the ape he could buy, but that was $20,000.
Jesus.
So he had to explain to his wife why he wanted to buy a $20,000 picture of an ape. But luckily, when he was getting ready to buy it, the price crashed, so it only cost him about $8,000.
Oh, only.
Only.
But yeah, so I
man.
already know of this thing from, I guess it was last year, or maybe I think it was
Right.
2022 or the 2021.
So
One or two.
real quick before we move on with this story, Mike, the guy that you were talking about, after his wife divorced him, did he find love again, or
No, she was supportive because she trusted him. It was for his book,
she's a keeper?
and yeah, and also luckily, by the time he got back from the cruise, that's right, it was a cruise that year it was on. By the time he got back from the cruise, after mingling with these people, he was still able to sell the ape and only lose like $2,000.
Only. Okay.
I've never wished for an iceberg more in my life.
Yes.
So a little warning here: like there are people who actually got hurt from this thing.
Oh, yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
laughing at them; we're laughing at the situation.
I'm
because it
laughing
is.
at them because they own apes.
I don't think anybody deserves to be bodily injured.
But if
because
anyone
they're
did,
apes. But
Yeah. Several people have reported experiencing eye pain, vision problems, and sunburnt skin on Sunday after attending Ape Fest, a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT collection event in Hong Kong that ran from November 3rd to 5th. Some Ape Fest attendees posted on X, formerly Twitter. You see that after every mention of
Yes.
X anymore. After seeking medical attention, with one person reporting that they had been diagnosed with photokeratitis, aka welder's eye,
what the fuck?
a condition caused by unprotected exposure to ultraviolet radiation.
My
Another
God.
saying, and another saying the issue was a result of UV from the stage lights, leading to speculation that injuries were caused by improper lighting at the event. Quote, I woke up at 4 o'clock and couldn't see anymore, said CryptoJune777. Had so much pain, my whole skin is burned, needed to go to the hospital.
I shouldn't have laughed that hard, but
I mean, again, like all my sympathy to the people who were injured by stupidity, but you got to laugh at the stupidity as well.
well, on the plus side, they can afford Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs, so they can apparently afford American health care. So
Here's another great tweet. Anyone else's eyes burning from last night? Woke up at 3 a.m. with extreme pain and ended up in the ER. I saw a couple of reports, but just trying to figure out if there was a common thread. So if his eye is burning and he's still seeing reports, it must not be that bad.
yeah, no, he's one of the lesser affected. I hate that. Did you see that guy's ape icon? It is a Donald Trump bored ape with a MAGA hat. Fuck that guy.
Yuga Labs, the blockchain company behind the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT project, says it's aware of the situation and taking the report seriously. Quote, "We are actively reaching out and in touch with those affected to better understand the root cause," said Yuga Labs spokesperson Emily Kitts in a statement to The Verge. Quote, "Based on our estimates, the 15 people we've been in direct communication with so far represent less than 1% of the approximately 2,250 event attendees and staff at our Saturday night event."
Well, they haven't heard from the others because they can't fucking see.
Like, so how many people are you allowed to blind in the process of selling your product?
I don't know, Mike.
Like,
you know
what's
anything
the
about
FDA
that?
guideline there?
I mean,
You know a little bit about OSHA.
it really depends on how much money you make and how big your lobbyists are.
Okay, well, it's NFTs, so
Right.
it's a bunch of schmucks.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah, like
this will
yeah.
be covered by their, if they had insurance. Well, no, it might not be because it's improper. It could be seen as negligent. So yeah, they're probably fucked.
Yeah, we're probably going to
Awesome.
hear more about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So I read a little bit. I read a subreddit. There are we're Robert Evans fanboys here, and he had a funny tweet about the death of crypto being mass blinding of bored apes via slaughterhouse equipment being pretty funny.
yes.
So yeah, that reference to slaughterhouse equipment, those UV lights are apparently UVC lights.
Yeah, those are for like killing off microbes and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so apparently they did like industrial grade UV lighting for, decontamination purposes.
Yeah, I think those are fairly cheap is the reason I read that they went with it.
They spent all their money on apes, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford the real lights.
So again, like obviously there are some people hurt here, but also like kind of funny.
Oh no, it's funny.
It's hilarious.
Hilarious. Mike, you've got a follow-up to that, don't you, about that one tweet they made before the event?
Oh, fuck, I don't have it up in front of me.
Well, one of the guys running the event made a tweet beforehand saying...
this was like in the one from February or something like that?
Yeah, yeah. And what did the guy say in the tweet, Mike? I want you to say it.
I cannot remember.
Ape Fest is going to melt some faces.
But yeah, Ape Fest is going to melt some faces.
And then they deleted the tweet after this happened. So,
well, in all fairness, the eyes are only like 10% of the face. Well, unless you're talking like
eyes without a face,
poetically or romantically, maybe they're 25% of the face.
What if it's anime?
Then eyes are 50% of the face minimum.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, a bunch of apes decided to blind themselves with industrial UV equipment. Anyway, that's my story.
God, I love it. I'm a terrible human being, but that's okay. I just, I feel like
Schadenfreude, right?
Yeah,
Schadenfreude.
no. If you spent that much money on a picture of a monkey, maybe this is a life lesson.
Like, and it's not even a good picture of a monkey. Like,
No.
get an Alex Ross painted monkey and spend $8,000. I could get that.
You know what?
I understand that.
If it was a dude that did the gorillas.
Yeah, Jamie Hewlett. Like,
Yes,
oh
Hewlett.
man, like if Jamie Hewlett like made some monkey drawings and sold them like actual drawings you could physically hold.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
fungible tokens.
Yeah, fungible tokens.
I'm going to start calling my art fungible tokens. Ed, you can use that as a marketing thing with original
in,
from
yeah.
the show. Fungible tokens.
Yeah, come to my table, buy some fungible tokens.
I like this plan. Now, Mike, do you want to go next, or do you want Ed to do his story, and then we can...
David had said I'll go last.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry. I love this story. I am tickled pink at the blinding of Ape Fest, which just sounds like a play.
You buy a T-shirt. I was blinded at 8 Fest, but you're not going to be able to read it.
One of my favorite articles for this story, for the image, they used a picture of an ape that had laser eyes.
Oh yeah, and didn't the article say, I thought the lasers were coming from the other direction?
No, that an article I saw didn't say that. It just,
The one
it was
I
just-
saw did.
Oh man. Oh boy.
So Ed, being the guest, we would love for you to share a story with us.
All right. So I grabbed one. This was from November 2nd, and it's Australian police charge a woman with 3 murders and alleged mushroom poisoning.
Okay,
Jeez.
this is on brand for us because it seems like someone has to do a mushroom update every weekend weird. So this is awesome.
I think I remember
Perfect.
hearing about this.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
it's-
terrible situation, but like also like pretty on brand for us as well.
And Australia.
Yeah, and Australia. So it's the kind of story a mystery novelist might conjure, but for months a real murder case has been playing out in a small Australian town where 3 people died after eating a family meal that was suspected to contain poisonous death cap mushrooms.
Ooh.
The prime suspect in Lenagotha, I know I'm
It's
mispronouncing
Australia.
that.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, they're
a country
Australian. They're
town.
illiterate anyway.
Lenagotha.
Yeah. Lenagotha, yes. So it's a country town some 84 miles southeast of Melbourne in Victoria has long been seen as Aaron Patterson, who hosted the lunch in late July, whose 4 guests quickly fell gravely ill. The menu included a beef Wellington dish that Patterson said included the mushrooms. So police arrested Patterson on Thursday. She's now charged with 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. The authorities did not name Patterson directly, but the details and circumstances align closely with her case, and national media quickly reported her arrest.
Wow. The big thing
Yeah.
is it murder or manslaughter if you just went gloaming and picked the wrong mushrooms?
Hmm.
I don't know. When we get to the point of who the guests were, I think we lose gloaming and we go to like, all right, she was trying to take him down.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So-
Let's get to that then. Yeah.
Patterson has maintained that she did nothing wrong in the face of intense media scrutiny and public speculation. I am now devastated to think that these mushrooms may have contributed to the illness suffered by my loved ones, she said in August in a statement to police obtained by Australian broadcasts. I really want to repeat that I had absolutely no reason to hurt these people that I loved. So the cook's relatives were the ones that were poisoned. 3 people died in days after the July 29th lunch at Patterson's home. From early on, police said the stricken people showed symptoms consistent with consumption of death cap mushrooms, which are known to grow in Victoria. The victims were Dawn and Gail Patterson, both 70, who were Patterson's former in-laws.
Jesus.
And Heather Wilkinson, who was Gail Patterson's sister, Ian Wilkinson, Heather's husband, who was sickened but recovered, and a 48-year-old man who became ill after 3 meals dating back to 2021. So he ate there 3 times and got ill.
Jesus.
Like,
But, yeah,
I would
when
stop
you
going
throw the
after the
mother-
first time.
Yeah, and I don't
Oh,
know
no,
why you're
it's-
inviting your former in-laws over, but if not to poison them with death cap mushroom beef Wellington.
To make sure they are former in-laws.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
former in-laws in all the ways. Like, yeah,
Yes.
that gets sketchy to me. So, and
So-
police did not identify the man as a 5th victim, but he's widely believed to be Simon Patterson, her estranged husband.
Of
Oh,
course.
jeez.
Okay.
So-
yeah, no,
So
that's
how is
that's attempted
Hercule
murder.
Poirot going to solve this?
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
boy. I tell you, I just picture her slaving over a stove with these things, chopping them up, going, make fun of my fucking cooking, will ya?
And so, like, what gets me is the guy who's eaten there like 3 times and got sick 3 times. Now, was he one of the gentlemen who died?
Oh,
The-
no, he didn't die, but that was her estranged husband. So she's been trying to poison that guy for a while now.
Jesus Christ.
No, I know we broke up and things were on the rocks. And I know it makes me sick every time I come here and eat, but by God, this is some good beef Wellington.
But it says he was invited to this meal, but canceled.
The final dose.
Finally sunk in, I guess.
You know, I
It's like,
think
wow,
he would
after all
have.
those times of my wife making me sick, maybe I'll skip this one.
You know, I think he would have survived because by this point he's starting to build up a fucking immunity.
Oh, the irony is the first 2 times he got sick was because of she didn't wash her hands beforehand.
Yep, he got pee juice.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I've been reading about dysentery today, so this fits right in.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, because we cover mushrooms quite a bit. We did an episode about the cosmic death fungus conspiracy.
Our most popular episode.
Mm-hmm. And it's a thing that kind of like I first noticed on 4chan and everything like that. But like mushrooms are in the news a lot because of like how mushrooms are adapting to climate change and everything like that. And
they're kind of cool.
Yeah, they're rad as shit, but also they're also very scary.
I want to make a shirt like those retro wave shirts where it's a triangle with the palm trees in it.
Mm-hmm.
I want that, but a mushroom that just says mushrooms are rad.
Oh yeah,
in like a bitchin' font.
We should do a shirt with us as Smurfs on a giant mushroom.
Oh my god, there's gonna be some fucked up Smurfs.
Yeah. Oh wow. Was there more to that story, or was the
there's more, but it's just kind of talking about the type of mushrooms and everything. But what I found was funny was that it says that Simon Patterson, which is the estranged husband, he in her meals he had to enter a medically induced coma for 2 weeks and have emergency surgery because of stomach and intestinal issues. So she's been trying a while to take this guy down.
And all this time he thought she was just a bad cook.
Yeah.
Just again, like if I get food poisoning at someone's house, I'm not eating there ever again.
You know,
so I honestly don't get it.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. You think that. We had a manager at Rose's who shall go unnamed because he may listen to this. And there was this restaurant near the store called Hudgies.
Ooh.
And it had been there since the 60s and had not been updated since the 60s.
Yeah, I had eaten there before, like when I was in high school.
Yeah.
It was like a little weird cafeteria.
Yeah, it's the kind of place that like serves peach cobbler for dessert and stuff like that.
Like how stinky and yellowed by cigarettes was it?
Very.
Yeah, it was
like it looked like that 1970s filter on Instagram.
Yeah,
it looked like that without the filter.
I didn't think it looked like dingy like that. I remember it being kind of white.
This was way after high school,
or
it was after high school. Well, this manager would go down there and eat for lunch every day, and my impression is he'd been doing this for years. I cannot tell you how many times we got a phone call saying, yeah, could you come pick up your manager? He passed out from food poisoning again. And he would go back the next day.
And the staff knows they're poisoning him.
Yes.
And he's not the only one collapsing from food poisoning, I bet.
Oh, no. Like, the fact that they had our number on file for it.
And they could immediately just look at him and go, food poisoning.
Yep. Well, he turned green and collapsed into a pile of vomit. It may be food poisoning. Yeah,
they're just the chef is correctly identifying the strain of bacteria that he's ill from.
Well, shouldn't have dipped my nuts in the Vindaloo, I guess.
I'll tell you, Bob, I'm pretty sure that's not E. coli, that's Staphylococcus baraccus.
Was that Mr. T?
I can only remember the first. I can only remember the Staphylococcus. I can't remember the second part of that. So I just made some shit
he
up.
came down with B.A. Baracus.
I pity that small intestine.
But no, seriously, you'd be shocked how many times someone will come back to a place that's poisoning them.
Like you said, he'd been doing it.
Well, he invited his parents to the poisoning place.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's like, who'd like this deadly food? My mom and dad.
Do you want to lose weight really fast in a really uncomfortable way?
Food makes me feel really bad, but my parents really should eat it.
It's got to be coming out of both ends. It's got to be like two rivers. We're going to call you the Fertile Crescent.
Oh God. Oh,
We're going to call your
Jesus.
mouth the Tigris and your butt the Euphrates. Oh, God. So that's a thing.
Well, anyway, like I was gonna say, but your manager had been going there. I'm assuming he started going there when they were okay, and it just went downhill, and he refused stubbornly to switch patronage.
You're making it sound like an abusive relationship.
Kind of was.
Like, if anything, wouldn't that just build up his tolerance?
No, because
Apparently not.
I'm pretty sure the swap happened pretty abruptly. Maybe they had a new cook. Maybe their refrigerator broke and they didn't fix it.
Who was their cook? Jabba the Hutt?
Yeah.
Hey, I think I'd stop eating somewhere if the food could be described as lukewarm pork.
Well, okay, Kevin, you and I are, I guess, a little more refined in that. Because remember, we swore off not Stuckey's, Huddle House.
Oh,
we swore off Huddle House after a ill-fated night. We wanted to go to Waffle House, but I believe they were full.
Yep.
And so a group of 4 of us, young, in our 20s or something, we go to Huddle House. I don't know what I got, but I did not get food poisoning. The 3 other people in the vehicle, it was not like severe, like not, throwing up and shitting everywhere bad, but it was still, they felt very nauseous and very bad afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. I was ill that night, so it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that was good. That was
Yeah.
horrible, but good.
Yeah, led to some real good discussion. Now, here's the funny thing is I did just look up Hudgies, and they are, of course, permanently closed. On a TripAdvisor, they have a rating of 2.0 out of 5 with 1 review. Team too much. I don't know what that means. My friends always used to say how good this place's food was, so I wanted to try it. The atmosphere walking in wasn't really pleasant, and no one greeted us at all. I wanted a plate to go, so the lady just handed them to us and pointed around the corner, still not saying anything. To my surprise, the food looked great, especially the fish and salad, so that's what I got. When I took it to the counter, she waited, and it was like $12. I was so shocked, she says defiantly, but I think they mean definitely think they should do away with the scale because I think it's a little off.
Oh.
So I would never trust cafeteria food bar fish.
Oh no.
Right.
That just sounds like, a recipe for a clogged toilet.
I'd rather take
there are just some foods you don't keep under a heating lamp.
No. Like ice cream.
Exactly, Kevin, like ice cream.
Sushi.
Oh, wow. I love that I look up Hudgies Jackson and pull up images, and there's a lot of obituaries pictures.
Former customers.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Chris LaChapelle. You ate there once too many. All right.
No.
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you for that, Ed. That was enjoyable. Oh, boy. I'm glad you brought that one. So, Mike, it's your turn, buddy.
Yes. So I have a question for the group.
If it bends, it's funny. If it breaks, it's not funny.
How ready are you, in fact, for the robot uprising?
Not at all. Actually, have we got a garden? Wait, our garden hose doesn't work. We're not ready.
Yeah, I'm screwed.
Yep.
All right, well,
Ed?
too bad. Oh yeah, Ed.
I'm going down. I'm the robots are taking me over quick. I'm not going to even last.
You're gonna be Locutus aboard.
I will carry on y'all's legacy as I dominate the robot uprising.
Okay, that's fair.
But because it's coming, because industrial robot crushes man to death in South Korean distribution center.
Oh, Jesus.
This comes Wednesday of this week.
Before you go on, can I just say this? I'm really glad this isn't like a puppy or a cat this time.
Oh, yeah.
God. Yeah, we have a lot of animal deaths on the show, too, apparently.
The machine apparently identified man inspecting it as one of the boxes it was stacking.
Oh no!
Oh God, is that
Was he a
the
particularly
story? it's in?
round gentleman?
Hmm?
What was he a particularly round gentleman?
I
Like, was
don't
he
know.
wider than a?
There's luckily no pictures of him,
He thought he was a refrigerator box.
but
He was like a cartoon rat that ate a piece of cheese. Just changes shape.
yeah, he worked with boxes so much he came to resemble them.
You know
I
how
became the box.
you know how one spouse starts looking like the other one.
A robot crushed a man to death in South Korea after the machine apparently failed to differentiate him from the boxes of produce it was handling, the Yonhap news agency reported on Wednesday.
Jesus.
The man, a robotics company worker in his 40s,
Oh no.
was inspecting the robot's sensor operations at a distribution center for agricultural products in South Gyeongsangs
Gyeongsang?
Gyeongsang province.
Get your hands off my eyes, meat bag.
The industrial robot, which was lifting boxes filled with bell peppers and placing them on a pallet,
Oh, this just gets sadder.
appears to have. So these are more like trays, I would think.
I don't know.
Appears to have malfunctioned and identified the man as a box.
Well, he could have been
Yonhap
full of
reported,
peppers.
citing
Well, he could have been a
police.
pepper too.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck you, David.
I'm a pepper. You're a pepper. The robotic arm pushed the man's. Do we want a description there?
Man, I've already
Oh.
said fuck like 100
Okay.
times.
The robotic arm pushed the man's upper body down against the conveyor belt, crushing his face and chest.
Oh,
According to Yonhap.
Man, that is a fucking oh my God, it's like RoboCop or something.
mm-hmm.
He was transferred to the hospital but died later, the report said.
I bet.
Oh.
In March, a South Korean man in his 50s suffered serious injuries after getting trapped by a robot while working at an automobile parts manufacturing plant. I can read.
Okay. Theory, it's just people over 30.
It's a eugenics robots.
It's like that story, The Veldt.
Well, I was gonna say, didn't we have that robot that like took that kid's finger, the chess kid?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, nope. They've got
kill
it
him,
out
though.
for us.
Just getting a taste for blood.
Jesus.
So there's not only apparently stealing our jobs isn't enough. The robots now have to murder us out of our jobs.
I'm a little bothered by the fact that I'm in the age bracket that these two people died.
Yeah, the minute you guys get a robot at work, you're
I was gonna
fucked.
say
Oh, yeah.
we got lucky, Kevin, because one of the managers was gonna put an animatronics display up. Remember that?
No.
It was
What
like
was
there was a brand display that apparently was like some animatronic bartender, and
Oh, God.
and one of our managers was really enamored by the idea and cleared out space for it. But I guess before it came, the eggnog did, and we needed the space for the eggnog.
I'm not excited about this now.
Dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
I'm the first one dead, dude. Oh my God. We work in a liquor store, Ed. So we have a lot of, I don't know. We got job security because, robots, I don't know. I got to thinking about this. Technically, you could just make all of a self-check in a liquor store. You have to scan your ID before you can check out.
True.
Mhm.
But I would say, cashing someone out is like 10% of our job.
Yep.
Maybe
Well,
15.
it's like 90% of my job. So
Oh, you help customers. I'd say that's a good chunk of it too.
I didn't see the air quotes around help, Mike.
It's because I meant them.
Oh.
I mean, you actually help customers.
Oh, okay.
Now, you can't trust scanning your ID, or else teenagers will be mugging older people for their IDs every day.
That's
Oh,
true.
it just made it
Like, all right,
worse.
I scanned that shit. Let's go.
Oh man.
Wait a
I've
minute.
noticed we've had a lot of like pain and suffering in this episode.
Yeah. God, this has been a painful ass episode. Yeah.
Oh man.
God. So, David,
Mm-hmm.
How would you get?
Mike, did you have any more to that story? Or?
Nope, that was it.
Oh, okay.
Story done.
Okay.
Well, David, me and Mike have talked about being we could probably get murdered by a animatronic bartender. How would you get killed by robots in your job?
So I'm teaching online right now, and it'll probably be a stress-induced heart attack because of the number of AI papers I'm getting from students.
Ooh, see, I was thinking you get swatted by an AI.
Yeah, nah,
Suicide by cop.
This has been a rough semester, boy. Let me tell you.
No, Kevin,
I know.
You forget. He lives in, they both live on the West Coast. It's Robotaxi, death by Robotaxi.
Oh yeah, y'all
I'm probably getting my ass run over by a
Ubers.
fucking Tesla.
Yep.
Robo Uber's taking me down.
Yep. And I've probably made this joke before, but if you steal a Tesla, does that make it an Edison?
Still a good joke.
Yep. So Ed, how are you getting murdered by robots?
Oh, at work, I'm a teacher with regular students, so I probably have a student pay a robot to take me down.
Beep boop. I am Mafia Bot.
Yeah,
They just hand you an iPad and it explodes.
yeah.
Oh, it's by Samsung. Okay.
Oh, man.
That was fun. So before we move on to anything, do we want to do questions?
We do have a question, don't we?
I believe we do. Let me go to
All right.
questions.
I'm going to check my feeds to see if I have any questions for us. I think we have at least one.
Okay, yes. All right. This is, of course, from God Themperor Ghost Forge. Wow, let me try that again in English. God Themperor Ghost Forge, not Ghost Forge. Worship the devil. So,
Worship the devil. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
worshiping the devil. I don't know how to worship the devil, so I'm doing it wrong.
So Ghost Forge asks, out of all the bullshit internet memes that exist, and ignoring Slender Man because that's the boring expected answer, which do each of you think is most likely to gain sapience as a mimetic being, and which would each of you want this to happen to?
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say that we can't mention anyone who lives in the Slender Mansion.
Oh, no. Anything in the Slenderverse is right out. None of his proxies, none of that shit.
Now, is Siren Head Slenderverse or not?
No. He's his own thing.
Yeah, okay, so maybe Siren Head. I think people could buy Siren Head being a thing.
Sure. I could see that.
Only if it's jump roping Siren Head.
God damn it.
The other thing is, like, the easy answer is, like, an SCP.
Oh, yeah. How about... You know what? If it's an SCP, I want it to be the drawing of the cute girl that's alive.
I want it to be the Dial Llama.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, I may have to change my answer from what I was going to say to Dial Llama. God.
If picture evidence is anything to go by in my research, it's gonna be the thing with the black fur and the skull face. I can't remember which one that is.
Oh, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I just don't know the name.
Oh, God.
The one that appears in your cell phone pictures.
Oh, that thing. Fuck that thing.
Except for some reason, people decided to make it sexy.
Nope. Don't like that at all.
Oh, fuckers are everywhere.
Yep.
All right, Ed, any monster memes that you're familiar with that you think? Because one thing we talk about is, like, people can will shit into existence.
Yeah, it's a tulpa or a egregore.
I misinterpreted everything about the question, and I was just thinking of the woman who yells at the cat becoming real in the world and like coming and like taking things over, and I just had a weird visual in my head of her screaming at the cat, and it becomes everyone else. So
God,
she's the new monster.
There you go. I'll take that.
No, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually do have an answer that's not Dalai Lama, but I kind of want it to be Dalai Lama now because that'd just be fun. The rake.
Oh, I'm trying to remember that one. That's
like what you like. Get the leaves up in your front yard?
No, let me read. The rake is a strange humanoid creature described as resembling either a naked man or a large hairless dog whose sightings have been reported on 4 different continents, occasionally being referred to as a, quote, skinwalker, with the earliest known account being a mariner's log in 1691. Named for its massive, incredibly sharp claws, the rake lacerates its victims in their sleep and, in some cases, whispers to them in a frightening voice. Those fortunate enough to survive an encounter with the rake usually end up traumatized by its appearance and behavior. The rake is often listed as one of the most famous creepypasta monsters. In 2018, a film based on the rake was released on Tubi TV and Amazon Prime. The movie was poorly received.
I remember that. The other thing I was thinking about is like with how big creepypasta are. You set up a creepypasta to run with an AI chatbot that just starts harassing people over Instant Messenger and Discord and Twitter.
God,
like you can make this thing real.
You just gave me a terrible idea of basically programming an AI and accidentally bringing back low tax from something awful as an AI.
I'm just saying, this is kind of leading to Dead Internet Part 3.
It kind of is. I'm now terrified of meeting a chatbot that keeps trying to sell me mangosteens.
Well, it just, again, with like how creepypasta works and how like you can program shit to be intrusive like that. Just imagine someone creating this like sinister ass AI like language model that like can post to Twitter and like reply to people with cryptid creepy shit.
Yeah, no, I hate this.
Which I think, now that we've put it out there into the ether, we're this is bad.
Yeah, we're terrible. We've made a terrible mistake.
Oh no.
Show's over.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Show's over. We're done. We're done.
Oh no. Oh no.
Now, Ghostforge's answer is Shaggy. Like Scooby-Doo, Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
Well, you want to know what?
Yeah, I love the Shaggy name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought yours was the skull fur thing.
Oh,
what is
that was
yours?
just when we're talking about SCPs.
Oh, okay. Well, what's yours?
Mr. Fortnite.
Mr. Fortnite?
I don't know. Just something to do with Fortnite. That's the only thing I can think of.
We should create a viral page for a Mr. Fortnite and see if we can get it to spread.
Hey, that's an idea. I know what our roommate...
or maybe it's Mr. Roblox, one of those.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
No, it's a Mr. Roblox who invades
What are
Fortnite.
all the kids about to talking about the Mr. Fortnite and the Mr. Roblox?
The hell voice was that?
I don't know, but it just came out of somewhere, and I'm just an old man talking about with Tip with the kids.
You're gonna be weird as hell as an old man, Mike.
This is not me as an old man. This is just a generic.
Just an old man talking. Okay, I got you.
It's like if Columbo also
had a stroke,
had 2 strokes and a 90% blockage in his aortic artery. I can't do it and laugh at the same time.
Excuse me, ma'am. I got just one more question. What the fuck's wrong with me? So,
Mr. Roblox, let's make it a thing.
Mr. Roblox.
Domo Origato, Mr. Roblox.
I know who our roommate Gage would say. Mr. Cheddar. Have you seen this? Just this fat Italian mouse that runs a restaurant.
I was going to say another one could be a Skibbity toilet.
What's that?
Skibbity toilet.
Skibbity toilet.
It's a YouTube thing the kids are into. It's like a dude whose head is in a toilet. I don't get it.
Nope.
I don't get it, but it's a thing among the children.
I know who a lot of people want, and that's Pomni from this new the digital circus thing. Yeah, fucking perverts.
Yeah.
So that's our question for the week. Oh, Christ.
Oh, man. Well, how do you guys feel about No Nut November?
I don't participate.
There is a reason I'm asking this.
I do not participate. Mike?
Look, I already, they don't want me to shave, and they wanted me to write a giant novel. Now I can't come. Fuck, they're just like really imposing on me in November now.
Right. Well,
how about fuck off November, guys? How's that for for a thing?
Well, for No Nut November, I figured I'd go with a nice. This is our X segment, by the way.
I hope to God it is. Jesus.
So we're going a little spicy. All right. So,
Ooh, are we
this-
about
this
to
is
talk
a-
about Baldur's Gate?
no, it's not Baldur's Gate. So this is a post on 4chan's X board. I'm gonna go ahead and read it, and there are a couple fun little replies here, but we're gonna have a serious discussion about this entity.
Oh boy.
All right. I'm going to start reading the post now. The picture attached to it is a button that depicts an old doctor, and the text reads, "This is not a good situation." So
I kind of want that button.
I will send you a picture of it. Okay, here's the post. What the fuck exactly is a succubus? I've been under attack by one for the past few months. It even tried to possess me one night when I was wide awake. I felt something enter into my body and head, felt this prickly sensation all over. Then I heard an alien-sounding voice say, "I love you, my name. We're going to live together in hell now." A few minutes later, it felt like my soul was being pulled out of my body. It felt like my body was spinning, felt like I was about to black out, constantly going into intense convulsions, and my upper body was involuntarily constantly trying to twist to the left like it wanted to twist 180 degrees. I was also very vividly heard a cackling witch and demons screaming they're going to kill me. I felt like part of my consciousness was in this other realm of complete blackness. After 10 minutes of trying to convince myself I'm just having a panic attack, I eventually went to the ER. In the ambulance, I went partially unconscious with my arms flinging around like crazy, and I saw demonic eyes behind my eyelids. After an hour at the hospital, it finally stopped. What the flying fuck? What the hell is this shit?
Okay. My initial take is there's a lot of complaining about a men's rights activist getting laid.
Oh my god. A religiously repressed person's first come. That's what it is.
You know, it does sound like someone that's never come before actually having that happen, and then like when Peter farted for the first time in Family Guy. What the hell was that? It's similar to that, but with
Oh my god.
nutting.
Oh my god.
Mike, have you got a theory, Mike?
Oh yeah.
So there's no like talk of anything surrounding it. So, you know, no. I totally wasn't high at the time.
It's one of those.
Or from the cum aspect, it could be like maybe his mom or somebody that he doesn't want to see him spank the monkey walks in. He's like, "I'm possessed." Oh, it's like his overly religious mom walks in. And he's beating it, and he has to think fast. It's like, "I'm possessed. I don't know what I'm doing." Well,
Tails.
No, he's like, "I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. What's wrong? I'm possessed. That's it. Yes, I'm possessed." And just
Damn succubus.
Dad, what's a succubus?
Tales of a repressed Baptist.
Yeah. And he just has to performatively go to the hospital because he was caught whacking.
Great. So this guy cost his mom like $4,000 because he was too embarrassed to say he was masturbating.
Hey,
Yeah.
I like the note that he got something inserted into him. So are we sure it wasn't an incubus?
Yeah, it sounds like he was being pegged.
Oh God. So, Ed, any theories as to what this is? You're dealing with demonology in your comic.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that guy might have read a few things and was like, all right, here, let me think of the world's worst excuse for getting caught jerking off. So
This doesn't sound like a succubus encounter based on from what I've read and what I've written.
Yeah.
I imagine.
This is like a mashup of every kind of like demonic recountants. Like it has, possession and seduction and just weird, like it's all over the place.
Yeah, I think it's a gay incubus.
Ginkabus?
A ginkabus.
What's a ginkabus?
A gay incubus.
Okay, I mean that's fair. So there's only a couple little replies here. Like no one's taken the bait of this obvious shit post. But there are a couple good replies. So
I know one. I hope you read.
The first one is, "That's what happens when you don't nut."
Yeah.
Nice.
Happy November.
Yeah.
And then the other reply is, it's probably just psychic vampirism. I probably can't actually drink anybody's blood. Still tasty though. So
Goodbye, Erdog and Corduroy. What the?
yeah, I don't get it either. That's what you get with 4chan,
Yeah,
though.
you're missing my two favorite replies.
Okay, what was it?
Well, the first one is, I come to succubus hentai 7 times a day. But my absolute favorite is just, it's a prostitute. Like one just, during the spring, they just crawl in through the window.
Oh yeah, they
It's
can smell.
yeah.
They can smell dick and money.
It's prostitute season.
Oh man,
Got it. Sometimes you have to spray for them because they can get in through the cracks of your windows and doors.
Do you have prostitutes? Call Orkin.
Oh no. All right, so yeah, that was our X. Like the initial post, I think is the best thing because it's just like, what the fuck, man.
Yeah.
So something Kevin said reminded me of something I had read. The supposition that, or the position, the positing. How do you say it? Anyway, the
that
theory
thing there
that maybe that succubus or incubus is not really gender determined, but role determined. So like a bottom would be a succubus and a top would be an incubus, be it male or female.
Ah.
I mean, when we cover sex demons, we'll have to get into that theory.
This is gonna be a fucked up episode. I don't know that we're gonna.
That'll be issue 2 of my book. We'll bring in the sex demons for that one.
There we go. You funded your Kickstarter with that one statement.
Yeah, it could be the Immortal Era After Dark.
Yes, there you go. The not safe for work version.
Yeah, and feel free to use this anonymous person's encounter for your story, because what the fuck, man?
Okay, I got one.
Why not?
I got one last theory about this. Wet nightmare.
Yeah, maybe really confused. Started to have a wet dream and then just went sideways, and that he still nutted.
It's like the nocturnal emission version of the boat ride from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh my god! Oh god!
No way of knowing where we're going.
Okay, here's the thing. I picture Willy doing that, and then just one of the people going, "Oh, do it again."
Oh no!
So that just makes me think of other bad combinations with wet dream, like sleep paralysis wet dream.
Oh god!
You drown.
I'm coming and I can't move.
Isn't that just a classic succubus encounter?
Yeah,
or hag.
Yeah, like
hagged.
in the lore, that typically sleep paralysis is usually associated with succubus and incubus encounters. That's one of the prevailing theories, and then they make that same claim about nocturnal emissions. Yeah, in the lore.
Yeah,
the lore.
Yeah. But we'll have to do sex demons eventually. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, you want to do a sex demon, don't you, buddy?
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. I'll do all the research on that one.
Oh, he's gonna do all the sex demons.
All right. Well, that was X.
Yep.
It really gave it to us.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, I think that's about it for this week.
I guess that means X is an incubus.
I don't know if I get that.
Because he gave it to us.
Oh, right. Okay.
He topped us, Kevin. He inserted things into our bums.
All right.
I am way too tired because that was hilarious.
Oh, boy.
Well, okay. Well, that is it for this week. Ed, thank you so much for coming on. Can you let everyone know where they can find your comic and where they can learn about your Kickstarter when it launches?
So you can find my comic on finishlinecomics.com. I have a web store there that you can get all the issues of Immortal Era. And for the Kickstarter, if you follow any of my social media on Instagram and Facebook, and there will be links to the campaign once it goes live. There's pre-launch links up right now on both of those. So if you follow any of my social media, you can find out exactly where to pick up your copy of Corruptor once it comes out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
thank you again for being on here. We really enjoyed talking to you, and we really enjoyed that story you brought. That was great.
All right. Thank you for having me. It's a great time.
Hey, not a problem, man. We'll see if we can get you back next time you have a Kickstarter.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So, that being said, if you would like to learn anything else about the show, you can find all that's good to know at supernatpod.rocks. You can find our Patreon, our Discord, our contact form. We are still taking advertisements, $2 a show. And me and David will write and read the ads if you don't have them. You can definitely join us on the Discord. We'd be more than happy to have you there. And you can find the show's, what's that shit called? Social media. I am a professional. You can find us on, my God, my brain, Mastodon, at SupernatPod, at weirdo.network, which, given the fact that I'm forgetting how to talk, is fitting. So, we will see you guys next week for episode 100, our 100th episode. Big triple digits, and the dumb... I can't say it's the dumbest thing I've ever talked about after Saturn Death Cult. It's pretty dumb, though.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty dumb.
It's going to be pretty dumb. You're going to love it. So, thank you for listening. We will see you next time. So until then, stay safe and stay frosty. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't nut in your nightmares.
Good night.
Good
In
night.
the bum bum.
In the bum bum.